Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Bros, and today we're going to be talking about Being Human, written by Judith Heumann. Now, before I go into this memoir, please remember to give a like, subscribe, and/or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. Being Human is a very interesting work. Judith Heumann, at the age of 2, she was diagnosed with polio. Her doctors told her parents that she would never be able to walk. Now, her parents, they were living in Germany at the time, and Hitler's regime, one of the things that they did was they started to take the disabled children of people in Germany, and those kids were the first to die because of their disabilities. Now, her parents, escaped that, and they came over to the U.S. And Judith Heumann, throughout her life, she had to face a lot of discrimination, a lot of oppression, because at the time when she was in the United States, growing up, people with disabilities didn't have all the rights that they have now. So within this memoir, she details her journey, from playing with her friends, how that was things that had to be adapted, because it wasn't a given. America wasn't as accommodating as it is now. Things like ramps and accessibility for people who can't walk to enter buildings. That wasn't a given. There weren't any types of government policies on buildings being constructed to help people with disabilities enter them. You were just expected to go upstairs, go downstairs. You were expected to not need a ramp. Any type of disability, there was really no help for people with disabilities. It was just, well, if you're able, you're able. If you're not, well, that's your problem. So throughout her life, she had to fight for everything that she got. She wanted to be a teacher. She had to fight for it because her state didn't want her to be a teacher because they're like, well, you're not able, you're not competent enough. You're in a wheelchair. You have these disabilities, and people just look down at her. But her memoir is very telling, is very interesting because she fought to take the exam. She fought to become a teacher, and she did become a teacher, eventually teaching disabled kids and non-disabled kids. She went forward to work with several U.S. administration to make the United States a country where people with disabilities could have rights that allowed them to do the things that other people would do, like enter a building or sit for exams or have accommodations for testing. The 504, legislation that allows people, the Disabilities Act, legislation such as that, Judith Heumann was essential in fighting for those types of acts that allows people with all types of abilities to get accommodations within the United States. And it's through that act that people with disabilities of all kinds within the United States, they can go to school, they can get jobs, as long as it's reasonable accommodations. Nowadays, there's no discrimination for jobs, for school, for education, for people that have any type of disability. This work is very long, and Judith Heumann just really goes into all of her struggles, what she had to go through from 2 years old, from being diagnosed to playing as a child to recognizing that she was not, society looked down upon her as a child because from the get-go society was like, well, you're not one of us, you're disabled, and there are certain things that you'll never be able to do. And you were just told to pretty much sit on the sideline. But she fought against that. She fought against that. Several protests, several fights, several agencies and organizations created to fight for the rights of people with disabilities. And she really states that it's not a given within this memoir. It's not a given that people with disabilities have these rights, that they can be taken away at any time. And in order for people with disability to keep their rights, they have to keep fighting for them. So throughout her whole life, she was an activist, protesting, fighting for the rights of disabled people of all kinds, from polio to blindness, to all types of illnesses that affect people, that can't function the way that people without disabilities function. So this memoir is very inspiring, from this woman from 2 years old fighting for everything that she had, to eventually working with several U.S. administrations, to getting married, to telling us her mind about the state of the country, and not even just America, but later on she would go and visit other countries to see how they treat their disabled people. And believe me, other countries, not all countries have rights for disabled people. If you're disabled, well, then that's just it. Many countries around the world don't have that many services or accommodations for people with disabilities. So Judith Heumann here, she is a champion in her own right, because she fought not only for herself, but for the rights of other people that have to live with disabilities like herself. In terms of deeper meaning analysis, this memoir is really inspiring. It really tells you not to be lazy. This woman, she had to fight for her job. She had to fight for education. Nothing was given to her. The only way that she made it through life was through people who supported her, her friends, her determination, to not take no for an answer, and to fight the people who have a stigma with people with disabilities. Because there's some certain people that just believe that people with disabilities should just stay in a corner. Look at how the memoir begins. She talks about how in Germany they were just killing them. All right, if you have a disability, they just killed you. So you can see that certain people see other people like in a wheelchair, or that have some type of disability. They just see them as things that should be eliminated. But Judith Heumann, just like the title, just being human, you don't ask to be born with a disability. You're just put into this world like everybody else, and you just find yourself unable to do things that other people can do. She really fights for the idea that, well, that doesn't make you less than human. You're just human. It's just, things just happen. That's honestly, that's what being human is. You don't choose your body. You don't choose your race. You don't choose your nationality. You don't choose anything. You just find one day that you exist. And throughout this memoir, no matter what the odds, Judith Heumann, states here, and she demonstrates throughout her life that, if you have determination, and if you want to achieve your dreams or just fight for your rights, you can. You're gonna, it's gonna take all that you got to just fight for what you want in life. So that's all I have to say about this memoir. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.